Good evening to everybody. Today I am going to explain soil structure and climatology. Soil structure means it is the geometrical arrangement of soil particles in a soil mass. The geometrical arrangement of soil particles, also known as soil fabric. The behavior of the soil depends upon soil structure. That is, bearing capacity of soil, settlement of the soil mass, shear strength of the soil, and also permeability of the soil. All geotechnical properties or geotechnical behavior of soil mass depends upon the soil structure. So, in geotechnical engineering, important we have six important soil structures. They are single grained soil structure, honeycomb soil structure, flocculated structure, dispersed structure, and a composite structure. The single grain and honeycomb structure, they are structure of coarse grained soil. Flocculated and dispersed structure, these two are called as structure of fine grained soil mass. The composite structure, the name itself indicates, is the structure of mixed soil, that is clay gravel or clay sand mixed soil. So let me explain the first one, single grain structures. It is present in soils like gravel and sand. So single grain structure, it belongs to coarse grained soil. It present in gravel and sand. So while deposition of soil by water, so it may take a loosest packing or it may take a densest packing. If the soil takes a loosest packing, permeability is more, settlement is low, settlement is more, shear strength is less, bearing capacities are also less. If it takes a densest state, then the soil passes a low wide ratio, high density, high shear strength, and low permeability and low settlement. The particles are assumed as spheres. The loosest and densest packing are shown in the figures. Here, densest packing, the above figure is loosest packing. So the wide ratio for the loosest state is 0.91, and the wide ratio for the densest state is 0.35. So when the soil attains loosest packing, the maximum wide ratio is 0.91. Please remember these two values. So very important for their point of view. So when the soil attains the loosest packing, the maximum wide ratio equal to 0.91, and when the soil attains the densest packing, the wide ratio equal to 0.35. When the particles are assumed as a perfect spheres. The second one is honeycomb structure. So this type of structure look like a honeycomb. They are present in fine sands and sills. So under vibrations and shocks, that means when the soil is subjected to vibrations, when the soil is subjected to shocks due to dynamic loads, and also when the soil is fully saturated, the structure collapses and large deformation takes place. So the soil which contains honeycomb structure, they are also known as collapsible soils. The second one is flocculated structures. So flocculated structure and a dispersed structure, these two are known as structure of fine grained soil mass. So flocculated structure occurs in the case of clayey soils. So it consists of edge to face orientation. Edge to face orientation. It is found when there is a net attractive forces between the particles are more. So clay particle consists of negative charge at the surface and positive charge at the edges. So in order to neutralize the negative charge, it attracts the positive charged water molecules. So that's why when attractive forces are more, flocculated structure is formed. So when the flocculated structure is formed, because of attractive forces, the shear strength is more, and also because of attractive forces, it exhibits low compressibility. But flocculated consists of a high wide ratio, hence it consists of high permeability. Next one is a dispersed structure. So it occurs in remolded clays. That means when the soil is disturbed, clay soil is disturbed. Remolding means creating disturbance to soil. When the clay soils are disturbed, dispersed structure is formed. So it consists of face-to-face orientation. Face-to-face orientation, whereas flocculated structure consists of edge-to-face orientation. So dispersed structure is formed when there is a net repulsive force between particles are more. So flocculated structure is formed when attractive forces are predominant, but dispersed structure is found when the repulsive forces between the particles are predominant. So dispersed structure exhibits low shear strength because of repulsive forces, high compressibility because of face-to-face orientation, and it consists of low permeability when compared to fragile structure. The next one is when soil contain different types of particles. That means it consists of mixing of coarse grain soil and fine grain soil. So it exhibits a composite structure. A composite structure is formed. So these composite structures are divided into two types. One is coarse grained skeleton and clay matrix structures. Coarse grained skeleton and clay matrix structures. So coarse grain skeleton is a structure of soil which is present in composite soils containing both fine and coarse grain soils. So coarse grain skeleton they are formed in mixed soil or the soil which contains both fine grain and coarse grain particles. So the coarse grain particles forms a skeleton-like structure and voids between them are filled by fine grain or clayey particles. So these compositions consist of coarse grain particles. This form skeleton-like structure and the voids between these coarse grained skeleton are filled with the fine grained clay particles. So in the case of coarse grained skeleton, so there will be a contact between the soil particles. So coarse grain particles are more and fine grain particles are very less. There is a point of contact. The soil particles has a contact with each other so that when load is transferred to the soil mass, the load is transferred through the one grain to another grain through the points of contacts. But in the case of a clay soil matrix, coarse grain skeleton are there will it consists of both fine grain soil and coarse grain soil, but coarse grain soils are not in contact with each other. They are floating in soil. So in the case of a clay matrix structures, clay soil is predominant and coarse grain soil particles are very less. So they are not in contact with each other. So that entire load is taken by only clay soils. That's why it exhibits low shear strength and also uh, low shear strength, low permeability, and more settlement. So when compared to coarse grain skeleton, so this clay matrix soil structures consists of low shear strength, low permeability, and uh, high settlement. So coming to clay mineralogy, so the soil consists of consists of clay minerals. So in gravel and sands, rock minerals like quartz, feldspar, mica are present in. But in the case of clay soils, clay minerals are present. So important clay minerals are kyelinite, illite, montmorillonite, and halazite. So these because of these clay minerals, it exhibits various properties. The clay soil, the clay soil, the properties of clay soils or the behavior of clay soil depends upon the clay minerals. So if you take the kyelinite clay mineral, it is a stable clay mineral. It consists of 1:1 clay mineral. It consists of gibbsite sheet and silica sheet. Gibbsite means alumina sheet. It consists of 1:1 mineral, gibbsite sheet and silica sheet. And these two structural units are strongly bonded by hydrogen, H plus ion, the hydrogen bond. So these two structural units are uh, attached together to each other by using hydrogen bond. That's why this hydrogen bond is very strong. This hydrogen bond does not allow the water to pass through the lattice structure of the clay mineral. That's why it causes no swelling and no shrinkage. So the hydrogen, because of hydrogen bond, the clay mineral is stable. So because of strong hydrogen bond, it does not allow the water to enter into the lattice structure of the clay mineral. That's why kyelinite clay mineral causes no swelling and no shrinkage. So these kyelinite clay minerals predominantly appears in the case of China clay. China clay is used for making pots and dinner sets. So China clay consists of kyelinite clay mineral. It exhibits no swelling and no shrinkage. So if we coming to Mount Munad clay mineral, it exhibits large swelling and large shrinkage. So it consists of a 1:2 clay mineral. That means gibbsite sheet, alumina sheet is sandwiched between two silica sheets. The top silica sheet, bottom silica sheet, in between alumina sheet is sandwiched. So these two structural units are not bonded by hydrogen bond. There is no bond between two structural units. So that's why, because of high net negative charge on the clay surface, it allows the water to pass through the lattice structure of the clay mineral. So there is no bond between two structural units and because of high net negative charge on the surface of the clay mineral, it attracts the positively charged clay particles, and it absorbs the more water and exhibits large swelling and large shrinkage. So the highest percentage of Mount winter is present in bentonite followed by a black cotton soil. So the soil which consists of Mount Morland clay mineral, the soil which consists of Mount Morland clay mineral exhibits high swelling and shrinkage. So coming to illate clay mineral, it is similar to Mount Morland clay mineral. It also consists of 1:2 mineral. So alumina sheet is sandwiched between two silica sheet, but the main difference between illate mineral and Mount Morland is the bond between two structural units. In the case of Mount Morland, there is no bond between two structural units, but in the case of illate mineral, the two structural units are bonded by potassium ions. Potassium ions. These potassium ions prevents the entry of water into the lattice structure of the clay mineral. But potassium ions are not strong as a hydrogen bond. That's why it exhibits medium swelling and shrinkage. So hydrogen ion is very strong. It cannot allow the water to pass through the lattice structure of the clay mineral. Hence, the soil containing kaolinitic clay mineral exhibits low swelling and low shrinkage, and the soil containing illate clay mineral, it exhibits medium swelling and shrinkage because the potassium ions prevents the entry of water, but it does not as strong as kaolinitic clay mineral. That's why it exhibits medium swelling and shrinkage. But in the case of Mount Morland clay mineral, there is no bond between two structural units, and because of high net negative charge, it attracts the positively charged water molecules. That's why it absorbs more water and it exhibits swelling. When water is dried out, it exhibits shrinkage. So the highest percentage is present in bentonite followed by black cotton soil. The halazite is the behavior is similar to kaolinitic clay mineral. So halazite, it is behavior is similar to kaolinitic clay mineral, but if you this is a small difference between kaolin and halazite. The two structures are separated by a single molecular water. In the case of halazite, here the two structures are bonded by. In the case of kaolin, the two structures are bonded by strong hydrogen bond. But in the case of halazite, these two structures are separated by a single molecular layer of water. So next one is diffused double layer and adsorbed water. So the clay consists of negative charge. Because of this negative charge, in order to neutralize the negative charge, the clay always attracts the positively charged cations or positively charged water molecules. So that's why around the clay particle, a thin layer of water will be present. This thin layer of water, which is held by electrochemical forces, is known as adsorbed water. So this adsorbed water is absent in the case of sandy soil. That's why sand doesn't, we cannot mold the sand into any shape. But the adsorbed water is predominant in the case of clay soils. So it deforms. When the soil force is supplied on the soil mass, it exhibits deformation. That's why we can mold the clay soil into any shape. So the molding, the resistance to deformation is known as plasticity. So the soil exhibits plasticity and can be molded into any shape because of this adsorbed water. So the next one is diffuse double layer. So clay particles, the clay surface consists of negative charge. In order to neutralize the negative charge, it always attracts the cations or positively charged water molecules. So this attraction is very strong near the clay surface. As we move away from the clay surface, the attractive forces gradually decreases. So immediately after the clay particle, there will be a strongly attached layer or rigid layer. As we move away from the clay particle, the attractive forces decreases and the soil is less mobile. The soil is more mobile when compared to rigid layer. So because of less attractive forces. So the negative charge along with this diffused molecules of water layer is known as diffused double layer. So the negative charge of the clay particle along with this diffusion of these cations and anions is known as diffuse double layer. So the layer on the clay surface up to the limit of attraction due to electrical forces is known as diffuse double layer. The water held in the zone of diffuse double layer, also known as adsorbed water, it is present on clay particles only. Because of net electrical charge present on the clay particles, water gets attracted and forms a bond. So that's all what imparts a plasticity to the clay. So kerosene being non-polar liquid, it does not cause plasticity to the clay. So if you take the kerosene, it does not consist of any charge. Electrically, it is neutral. There is no positive charge and there is no negative charge. That's why when soil is submerged in kerosene, it does not have interaction with the kerosene. So no swelling, no shrinkage will take place when soil is poured into the kerosene. So hence kerosene being a non-polar liquid does not cause plasticities to the clay. So coming to specific surface area, it is the total surface area of soil particles per unit weight or per unit volume of soil. It is the total surface area of soil per unit weight or per unit volume of the soil mass. So finer the soil, higher the specific surface area. So as the size of the particle decreases, specific surface area increases. So Mount clay mineral has the largest specific area, about 800 meters square per gram. So Mount mineral, the size of the particle is very less. Hence, the clay mineral, monomer clay mineral has the largest specific surface area, about 800 meters square per gram. So the next topic is I am going to explain soil classification, Indian soil classification system. So classification of coarse grain soil and the classification of fine grain soil. So this classification is according to Indian soil classification system. So according to IS classification system, the soil is divided into two types. One is coarse grain soil, another one is fine grain soil. So when the in a given soil mass, if 50% of soil mass greater than 50% of soil mass is retained on 75 micron IS sieve in a given soil mass, if more than 50% of soil is retained on 75 micron ISU, then the soil is known as coarse grain soil. If greater than 50% of soil passes through the 75 micron ISU, it is called as fine grain soil. That means the particle size more than 75 microns, they are called as coarse grain. The particle size less than 75 microns, they are called as fine grain soil. So now coming to, so imagine the soil is classified as coarse grain soil. So I have taken 1000 grams and 700 grams are passing 700 grams retained on 75 micron ISU. So more than 50% is retained, so that the soil is classified as coarse grain soil. So when when it is decided as coarse grain soil, the coarse grain soil is again divided into two types. One is gravel, another one is sand. If you take 50 coarser fraction, that is retained in 75 micron ISU, if more than 50% of coarser fraction retained on 4.75 mm ISU, then the soil is called as gravel. If more than 50% of coarser fraction passes through 4.75 mm ISU, then the soil is called as sand. That means the particle size more than 4.75 mm ISU, they are called as gravel. The particle size, if the particle size is less than 4.75 mm ISU, it is called as sand. So imagine if it is a classified as a gravel. So the gravel again divided into two types: clean gravel and gravel with fines. The gravel with fines. If less than 5%, if the gravel consists of fines, that means clay particles less than 5%, then it is called as well graded gravel. If the given gravel, clean gravel, if the given gravel consists of fines, that is clay particles, more than 5%, then it is called as gravel with fines. So if fines are less than 5%, the gravel is treated as clean gravel. If fines is more than 5%, then the gravel is treated as gravel with fines. That means the gravel consists of clay particles also. Suppose if it is a clean gravel, it is again divided to two types: well graded gravel and poorly graded gravel. So clean gravel again divided into two types: well graded gravel and poorly graded gravel. Suppose if coefficient of uniformity, that means D60 by D10, C equal to known as coefficient of uniformity, that is D60 by D10. D60 by D10 is greater than 4. Is greater than 4. It is known as well-graded gravel. So in order to know the clean gravel is there is well-graded gravel or poorly graded gravel. So we have two criteria. One is coefficient of uniformity. Another one is coefficient of curvature. Coefficient of curvature means D30 square by D60 into D10. If coefficient of uniformity is greater than 4 and CC lies in between 1 and 3, then it is called as well-graded gravel. If these two conditions are not satisfied, that is C is not greater than 4 and CC does not lie in between 1 and 3, then the gravel is known as poorly graded gravel. So while saying, we will say that well graded gravel. First we will say well graded, then gravel. But while writing, we need to write first gravel, then well graded. So similarly for poorly graded soils also. So poorly graded, while saying poorly graded gravel. But when writing, we need to write first gravel, then poorly graded. Suppose if the soil is if the gravel consists of fines more than 5%, that means clay particles more than 5%, or fines means less than 75 micron ISO. So the gravel contains fines greater than 5%. Then it may be silty soil or it may be clayey soil. The fines may be silt or the fines may be clay soil. That we need to decide. So for that, we need to find out the liquid limit and also plastic limit, then plasticity index. So IP is known as plasticity index. Yeah, so the numerical difference between liquid limit and plastic limit will give the plasticity index. If the plasticity index is less than 4, it is called as silty gravel. If the plasticity index is greater than 7, it is known as clayey gravel. So if gravel contains more than 5% of fines, then it may be classified as silty gravel or it may be classified as clayey gravel. If the plastic index is less than 4, it is called as silty gravel. If the plastic index is greater than 7, it is called as clayey gravel. So for silty gravel, silt it is indicated by M because in Latin it is called as mist. Silt is called as mist. That's why it is indicated by GM. While saying, I am saying that while saying we need to say that silty gravel, but while writing, first gravel should be written first. So gravel, so silty gravel, GM. First we need while saying, first to say silt, then gravel, then when writing, while writing, first write gravel and next silt. So clayey gravel. So the if the plastic index is greater than 7, it is called as clayey gravel. Suppose if the greater than 50% of coarser fraction passes through 4.75 mm ISU, then the sand is classified into two types: clean sand and sand with fines. The clean sand again divided into two types: well graded sand and poorly graded sand. So when CU is greater than 6 and CC lies in between 1 and 3, we will say that it is a well graded sand. Well graded sand. So if the two conditions are not satisfied, two conditions are any one of the condition is not satisfied, then it is called as a poorly graded sand, not meeting the gradation requirement. Suppose if the sand consists of more than 5% of fines, then it is called as sand with the fines. So the fine may be silt, the fine may be clay sand. That's why we need to differentiate between, you know, differentiate the soil, whether it is silt or clay. We need to find out the liquid limit and the plastic limit. There is a numerical difference between liquid limit and plastic limit, which is also known as plasticity index. The plasticity index is less than 4, it is called as silty sand. If the plasticity index is greater than 7, it is called as clayey sand. So important point here is, so I say while classifying this by using this flow chart, you may got some doubts. If the fines are less than 5%, it is called as clean gravel. If the fines are greater than 5%, it is called as gravel with fines. Suppose if the fines are in between 5% and 5% and greater than 5%, then it is called as fines falls between 5 and 12%. Then we have to use the dual symbol. So GP, poorly graded gravel, at the same time silty sand. Well graded gravel, silty gravel. So poorly graded gravel and clayey gravel. Like that, we need to use a dual symbol. If the fines falls between 5 to 12%. The next, if plastic index falls between 4 and 7, then we have to use dual symbol GM and GC. If the plastic index falls between 4 and 7, then we have to use the dual symbol GM and GC. Here, the plastic index is less than 4, it is called as silty gravel. The plastic index is greater than 7, it is called as clayey gravel. Suppose the plastic index in between 4 and 7, then we need to use the dual symbol GM and GC. So clayey gravel means predominantly it is a gravel. So the soil consists of predominantly gravel but contains small percentage of clay. It contains small percentage of clay. So let us take some exercise here. So classify the soil by following the data. So first one is 75% of a soil retained on 75 micron ISU, 60% of coarser fraction retains on 4.75 mm ISU. Cu is equal to 5 and Cc is equal to 2. So in the problem, 75% of soil is retained on 75 micron ISU. The meaning is greater than 50% of soil retained on 75 micron ISU. The soil is classified as coarse grained soil. Next, 50% of coarser fraction greater than the 60% of coarser fraction retained on 4.75 mm. That means greater than 50% of coarser fraction retained on 4.75 mm. Hence, the soil is classified as gravel. Next, no data regarding percentage of fines. So, in the problem, no data is mentioned about the fines. Hence, we can treat it as a clean gravel. So here Cu is uh, greater than or equal to 5. C is 5. Next Cc is in between, lies in between 1 and 3. That's why the soil is classified as well graded gravel because the particle size is greater than 4.75 mm ISU. Then Cu is greater than 5 and Cc lies in between 1 and 3. Hence it is called as well graded gravel. So if you see the second question, classify the soil with the following data. 40% of soil passes through 75 micron ISU. So 40% of soil passes through 70% of ISU. The meaning is 60% of soil is retained on 75 micron ISU. Hence the soil is classified as coarse grained soil. The next one is 20% of coarser fraction passes through 4.75 mm ISU. 20% of coarser fraction passes through 4.75 mm ISU. That means 80% of coarser fraction so retained on 4.75 mm ISU. Hence the soil is treated as gravel. It is treated as gravel. So liquid limit equal to 35%, plastic limit equal to 25%. The numerical difference between liquid limit and plastic limit, also known as plasticity index, it is equal to 10%. So plasticity index is greater than 7, hence it is called as it is treated as a clayey soil. So the soil is classified as clayey gravel. So predominantly it is a gravel, but it consists of small percentage of clay particles. So next one is classify the soil with the following data. So 75% of soil retained on 75 micron ISU. So 70% of soil is retained on 75 micron ISU. That means more than 50% is retained on 75 micron ISU, and it is called as coarse grained soil. Next, 65% of coarser fraction passes through 4.75 mm. That means greater than 50% passes through 4.75 mm. Hence, it is called as sand. So Cu value equal to 7, Cc value is equal to 2. So for sand, Cu should be greater than 6 and Cc lies in between 1 and 3. So soil is classified as well graded sand. So Cc value is equal to lies between 1 and 3 and Cu value is greater than 6. Hence it is classified as well graded sand. So next one is classify the soil with the following data. So 30% of soil passes through 75 micron ISA. So 30% of soil passes through, meaning is 70% is retained on 75 micron ISO. So the soil is classified as coarse grained soil, and 20% of soil retained on 4.75 ISU. 20% is retained. That means 80% passes through the 4.75 mm ISO, hence it is called as sand. So plastic limit equal to 25, liquid limit equal to 28. So the plasticity index equal to 3. So plastic index equal to 3 less than 4, hence it is called as silt. The soil is classified as silty sand. So basically it is a sand, predominantly it consists of sand and a small portion of silty soil. So silty sand, the soil is classified as silty sand. Next one is next problem is classify the soil with the following data. 70% of soil retained and 75 micron ISU. 70% is soil is retained. That means more than 50% is retained and 75 micron ISU. Hence it is called as coarse grained soil. 30% of soil passes through 4.75 mm ISU. 30% is passes. That means 70% is retained on 4.75 mm ISU. Hence the soil is classified as gravel. So CE value equal to 5, CC value equal to 2, liquid limit equal to 28, plastic limit equal to 25. So gradient requirements and details regarding fines are given. Hence need to check in both the cases. So gradation requirement, that means CE value, CC value is given. At the same time, regarding fines also given, liquid limit, plastic limit also given. So we need to check in both the cases and we need to give the dual symbol. So Cu equal to 5, Cc is equal to 2. That means it is called as well graded gravel. Cu value is greater than or equal to 5. It is called as well graded gravel. Cc value equal to lies in between 1 and 3. So it is called as well graded gravel. So plastic limit 28, liquid limit 25. Plasticity index equal to 3. So that's why plastic is less than 4. It is called as a silty gravel GM. So dual symbol. We need to use dual symbol GW and GM. So till now I have explained how to classify the coarse grained soil. So now I am going to explain the classification of fine grained soil. So fine grained soil is divided into three types: clay soil, silty soil, and organic soil. So in the case of clay soil, again it is divided into, so depending upon the liquid limit, it is clay soil is divided into three types. One is low compressible, intermediate compressible, and highly compressible. So low compressible means CL. It indicated by CL, low compressible clay. If liquid limit is less than 35%, it is called as low compressible clay. If liquid limit is in between 35 to 50, it is called as intermediate compressible clay. The liquid limit is greater than 50%, it is called as highly compressible clay. So similarly, silty soil as depending upon the liquid limit, it is also classified into three types. It is a low compressible silt, medium compressible silt, high compressible silt. Low compressible silt LM, intermediate compressible silt IM, high compressible silt HM. So if liquid limit is less than 35%, low compressible silt. If liquid limit is in between 35 to 50, it is called as intermediate compressible silt. If liquid limit is greater than 50%, it is classified as a highly compressible silt. So similarly, organic soils also divided into three types: low compressible organic soil, medium compressible organic soil, and high compressible organic soil. So oil, low compressible organic soil. If liquid limit is less than 35%, it is called as low compressible organic soil. If liquid limit is in between 35 to 50, it is called as a medium compressible organic soil. If liquid limit is greater than 50%, it is called as highly compressible organic soil. So M is called as mixed in Latin. So mixed means silt. So in order to differentiate whether it is a silt or organic soil, so we need to check the liquid limit before oven drying and after oven drying. If liquid limit reduces more than 25% of initial liquid limit after oven drying, the soil is treated as organic soil. If liquid limit reduces more than 25% of initial liquid after oven drying, so the soil is treated as organic soil. So before oven drying liquid limit, we need to find out liquid limit. So let us imagine it is 100%. So and then place the soil in oven and find out the liquid limit. After oven drying, liquid limit equal to 70%. So it decreases more than 25% of initial liquid limit. and the soil is classified as organic soil. So if the liquid humidity is 70%, it is called as organic soil. If liquid humidity is more than 70% or 70%, it is called as organic soil. If liquid humidity is reduced by 25% or reduced to 70%, then it is called as organic soil. Here, the soil is treated as liquid 100%. So highly compressible clay, organic clay. So in order to differentiate whether it is a clay or a silt or a organic soil, we use a plasticity chart. Plasticity chart. So plasticity chart, it is designed by Casagrande, Arthur Casagrande. It consists of plasticity index on left hand side and liquid limit on x-axis. So on y-axis it consists of plasticity index and x-axis consists of liquid limit. So a line passing through 20 will be there. It is called as a line, Arthur Casagrande line. So IP, Arthur Casagrande line, it is indicated by an equation IP equal to 0.73 into liquid limit equal to 20%. Suppose if you put the liquid limit equal to 20, so what will happen? 20 minus 20, 0. So 0 into 0.73 equals to 0. Height of A line at A 20 equal to 0. So IP, height of A line, indicates the height of A line at the liquid limit, at the particular liquid limit. It indicates IP indicates the height of A line above x-axis. So at 20, liquid limit 20, height of A line equal to 0. So hence IP equal to 0. If points lies above the height of A line, it is called as clay. If the points lies below the height of A line, it is called as organic clay or inorganic clay, organic soil or inorganic soil. So let me explain how to classify the fine grained soil. So classify the soil with the following data. 75% of soil passes through 75 micron ISU. So liquid limit equal to 57, plastic limit equal to 20. So first check height of line. Height of line equal to 0.73, liquid limit minus 20%. Height of line equal to 27.01. So plasticity index equal to liquid limit minus plastic limit 57 minus 27. Liquid limit anta 57. Plastic limit equal to 27. Plastic limit equal to 27. So plastic index equal to 30. So plasticity index here, plasticity index is greater than height of A line. So hence the point falls above A line. So liquid limit 57 is greater than 50, hence it is called as highly compressible. So here plasticity index is greater than IP. That means plasticity index. So plastic index height of A line. Plastic index is greater than height of A line. Height of A line is given by 0.73 into liquid limit minus 20%. If plasticity index is greater than height of A line, then it is called as the point falls above A line. Liquid limit equal to 57 minus 50. Highly compressible. Highly compressible. So the clay is classified as clay with high compressibility and symbol is CH. Clay with high compressibility CH because liquid limit is greater than 50%, so highly compressible. Then plasticity index is greater than IP. IP means height of A line. Plasticity index is greater than height of A line, hence it is treated as clay with high compressibility. Clay with high compressibility. So next question is classify the soil with the following data. 60% of soil passes through 75 micron ISU and 75 ISU, liquid limit equal to 40% and plastic limit equal to 28. So height of line equal to 0.73, liquid limit to 20 minus plastic limit equal to 20. So height of line equal to 14.6. Plasticity index equal to liquid limit minus plastic limit. Liquid limit equal to 40, plastic limit equal to 28, the difference, the plasticity index equal to 12. So height of A line is greater than plasticity index, the point falls below A line. The point falls below A line. Liquid limit equal to 40, it is in between 35 to 50. The soil is classified as medium compressibility. Medium compressibility. So no data is regarding liquid limit before oven drying and after drying. So soil is treated as inorganic, inorganic clay, MI, inorganic, I for inorganic, S for silt, inorganic silt. So of medium compressibility. So MI. So inorganic silt of with medium compressibility. Here one more problem is there. So classify the soil with the following data. 30% of soil is retained on 75 ISC. 30% of soil is retained. That means 70% is passes through the 75 micron ISU. Hence it is called as fine grained soil. Liquid limit equal 30% and the plastic limit equal 27. Liquid limit after oven drying equal to 20%. So let us check first one, height of VLN IP 0.73 into liquid limit minus plastic limit. So we will get 7.3. Height of line equal to 7.3. So plasticity index equal to liquid limit minus plastic limit 30 minus 27 equal to 3. So plasticity index is greater than height of alien is greater than plasticity index. So point falls below alien. If plasticity height of alien is greater than plasticity index, the point falls below alien. So 0.75 into 30 equal to 22.5. So after oven drying, the liquid limit is reduced to less than 75%. So 75% is 22.5. But after liquid limit, after oven drying, the liquid limit is 20. That means after oven drying, the liquid limit is reduced to less than 70% of the liquid limit before oven drying. Hence, the soil is classified as organic soil. So liquid limit equal to 30 and the soil is classified as low compressible and the soil is finally classified as low compressible organic soil. For a fine grained soil, liquid limit equal to 20% and the plastic limit equal to 14%. Classify the soil as per IS classification. So it is mentioned that is a fine grained soil. So in problem itself indicates it is a fine grained soil. So liquid limit equal to 20% and plastic limit equal to 14%. Classify the soil particles as per IS classification. So please the plastic index equal to liquid limit minus plastic limit 20 minus 14 equal to 6%. So the plasticity index lies between 4 to 7. The soil is classified as OLML from the plasticity chart. Here we can see that when the plasticity index is in between 4 to 7, the soil is classified as OL and ML. From the plasticity chart, we can say that it is a OL or ML. Next, Indian soil classification of soil. Indian soil classification of soil based on particle size. So earlier, the class it is also called as Indian soil classification, but it is based on particle size as well as consistency limits. So based on liquid limit, plastic limit also, we checked the soil, and also we have the size also checked. Then we have classified. So Indian soil classification system is based on uh, consistency limits as well as particle size. But here, IS classification, Indian soil classification based on particle size only. Only it is based on particle size. No consistency limits are taken into consideration. Only soil particle size is considered. So it is a chart, Indian soil classification chart. The soil is less than 2 microns. It is called as colloid or clay particles. If the soil particle size is less than 2 microns, it is called as colloid or clay particles. It is Brownian in motion. It is Brownian in motion. It will not settle in the bottom of the tank or jar. So it comes to downward direction, again it comes to upward direction, like that. It is always suspension in water. It does not settle at the bottom of the tank or jar, hence it is called as colloid. So the maximum size of clay is 2 microns. If the soil size is in between 2 microns and 75 microns, the soil is classified as silt. So the size of the particle is less than 75 microns and more than 2 microns, the soil is classified as silt. So the maximum size of silt is 75 microns. The minimum size of the silt is 2 microns. The maximum size of clay is 2 microns. Next, if the soil size is in between 75 microns and 4.75 mm, then it is called as sand. So 1 mm equal to 1000 microns. So 75 microns, 75 divided by 1000 will give the mm. So 75 microns, the soil size is in between 75 microns and 4.75 mm, the soil is classified as sand. If the soil size is in between 75 microns and 0.425 millimeters, the soil is classified as fine sand. Fine sand. The soil size is particle size is in between 0.425 mm and 2 mm. The soil is classified as medium sand. Medium sand. If the soil size is in between 2 mm and 4.75 mm, then the soil is classified as coarse sand. So the maximum size of sand equal to 4.75 mm. The minimum size of sand is 75 micron. Yes, 75 microns. If the particle size is more than 4.75 mm and less than 80 mm, it is called as gravel. If the soil size is greater than 80 mm and less than 300 mm, it is called as cobble. So the maximum size of the cobble is 300 mm, minimum size of the cobble is 80 mm, and the maximum size of gravel equal to 80 mm and the minimum size of gravel equal to 4.75 mm. If the particle size is greater than 300 mm, then the soil is treated as boulder. Boulder. Minimum size of boulder is 300 mm. So with this, I have finished the two topics. One is soil classification. As per Indian soil classification system, how the soil is classified. And the Indian soil classification system is based on consistency limits and particle size. Sometimes Indian soil classification system also depends only on particle size. And also I have covered what do you mean different various soil structures present in soil, and also various types of clay minerals present in the soil mass. So in tomorrow's class, I'm going to deal uh, permeability of the soil mass. So any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So thank you so much for attending these GATE classes. So tomorrow also, I'm expecting the strength. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.